Hello.
Alright, kill the music. And we are live. Welcome everybody. It's been a little while. We were both in the middle of moving, etc. last week, so that didn't happen. Luckily, it was kind of a slow period, so we didn't miss too much. Okay, we missed a fair bit, but it doesn't matter. We're live now.
I was like, what?
Okay, we missed a fair
about?
bit. Let's be perfectly honest. I fucked up, but no. So, anyways, we as the title says down below, this is episode 6. I do understand that most of the episodes haven't actually found their way to the YouTube channel. Episodes 3, 4, and 5 all got corrupted in different ways. So I was, and it's a different way every time. Yeah. Well, I mean, did you not notice that I never tweeted that they were up? So, anyways,
I did actually. I did notice, but
yeah. So,
I just,
shit hit the fan.
I
Whatever,
thought you were just trying to keep all the YouTube money to yourself.
Nah, man. If I ever make any YouTube money, don't worry. I'll be sure to split it like 75-25, something like that. Anyways. Alright. So, anyways, put up or shut up, because, well, pretty much everything that we're doing is some sort of putting up or shutting up in terms of a lot of major events either happened or are starting to happen, or you've got organizations, saying we're laying down the law in some manner. And so with that, we're going to start on with actually the Koreans laying down the law over at PAX.
Yeah, so PAX was, I'm really struggling with the dates here, and I feel really bad about it. It was what, the last weekend in August, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So PAX Heroes of the Storm had its first international tournament, actually, and it was supposed to feature Chinese teams. Both the Chinese teams had visa issues, so they didn't show up. Tempo Storm and Cloud9 for North America, and then Team Liquid and I believe Virtus Pro. Can't really remember.
That sounds right, because I remember VP tweeting
about,
or not VP tweeting, but somebody tweeting about VP. So, and everybody please, yes, we're talking about Koreans, but they're not League of Legends, they're not StarCraft, they're the throwaway Koreans. It's okay, so just keep your pants on.
Wow. Honestly, you make a fair point, though, because it's just like, all right, well, the people that didn't want to do StarCraft, they went to League of Legends, and then
from League of Legends, it's Heroes or Dota. I mean, so anyways,
all right.
So yeah.
So I have the official information right here, so I can stop talking out of my ass. It was the Masters Gaming Arena 2015, the MGA tournament. It was held in Seattle at PAX on the 28th and the 29th of August. So, out of the teams there, it was Team Liquid and Virtus Pro from Europe, and MVP Black was the team that showed up from Korea. They basically just stomped everybody. It wasn't that simple.
It was straight stomps.
It's kind of stomped. So, like, the first time they played against Team Liquid ended up winning the first game, and then they got reverse swept by MVP Black, and they actually gave props to their Zeratul player, Black Scorp. But then Cloud9 got their shit pushed in by the Koreans.
That's an understatement.
Tempo Storm got 3-0'd, man. By it was bad. It was pretty bad. Like, and then there was an article that was released either the day after or like right after they won. No, something around that time. But basically, one of the Korean players for MVP Black was saying that if the Chinese players had actually gotten their visas, it would have been China versus Korea at the finals and not North America.
And I want to think that some of that is simply the Koreans being like, nah, these Americans were too easy. But at the same time, you kind of have to believe that we probably would have gotten our shit shoved in by China and Korea, just because of where things are at right now. Also, your webcam's bugging me, so I'm just gonna fix that really quickly.
Is it really?
It's on my end.
Oh, okay.
So
anyway,
it's a capture thing, so just everybody ignore this for a moment.
So, it's another the point in bringing this up, in addition to just covering a variety of esports like we usually do in our show, is once again it just seems like Korea, China, they got these patches, they got the game later than North America and Europe did.
Not by much.
And not by much, not as much as in other games. Excuse me, but once again, just the Korean diligence, the machine, they just power through and they're just able to just overcome. It's crazy, because Tempo Storm for the longest time just basically tooted their own horn. They were like, we're the best team in the world. Like, there was no way to prove it. This was the first real international competition they've had. Yeah. And Korea just takes it. It's pretty troll. Yeah, it's honestly pretty troll.
It is, I mean, pretty is an understatement. It was definitely not pretty in terms of the pain there. But so yeah, that was PAX. Also, PAX Prime was some other show matchy stuff. But that's
Oh,
we
speaking of show matchy stuff, real quick, I'm just gonna throw this in there. Shout out to Clash Point. There was a gigantic show match,
all right.
and
Okay.
there, huh?
All right. Let's go.
Can
I
I
was
do
gonna say that for the very end, but that works. We'll do it now.
All right, we can save it for the end then.
No. Go ahead. You started. Do it.
All right. All right, so there was a gigantic show match at PAX, and it was Clash Point versus Synergy, and you can check out the VOD at twitch.tv/GoGigantic. I'll provide the link later. But I want to give a shout out because the gigantic company, the Motiga, flew out Synergy to play in the show match, and then
the show match, not the
Clash
tournament.
Point.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
the show match, and then there was a tournament the next day.
Yeah.
And the Clash Point guys, good friends of mine, they actually had to pay their own way to go to the tournament. They lost the first game and then reverse swept and won the best of 3 series.
Yeah.
And it was so hype. It was one of the first gigantic show matches, so big props to them.
Yeah. No. So that's that one I didn't catch all of. I did watch the tournament the next day, which was all quote pickup teams. I'm gonna call some cough bullshit on that because
Right.
you know that those guys cough picked it up Friday. Cough certainly don't have cough alpha access, but it was impressive. It was cool to see. And especially by the end of it, you obviously had teams that at least had mostly guys who had been playing it through, and it shows that Gigantic's got some potential as a competitive thing. So I'm excited for that. And that's that's an example of Motiga saying, look, we're gonna bring these teams out, we're gonna put them up, and we're going to say this is what we can do, and we want to be some form of esport, which is solid. And then let's bounce to shutting up really quickly. So in Slovenia, in the tiny European country of Slovenia, there was this group of businessmen who decided that they wanted to host a tournament in a castle at a resort. All right, so this already sounds like a bad idea, right? Okay, it is.
This sounds like a movie.
Oh, it's a horrible.
Go ahead.
It's a horrible movie, and they put it together with less than a month, so no planning time whatsoever.
Okay.
The Counter-Strike tournament started on Sunday. The Dota tournament was supposed to start. Or was it Monday? It was Sunday or Monday. I forget which date exactly, but the Counter-Strike tournament started 2 days earlier than the Dota tournament. The Counter-Strike tournament, as it was starting, they realized that the computers didn't have the right graphics cards in them, so they had to send somebody out to go buy them. All of the stores were closed because this was Sunday that happened. So then then on Monday when they finally got somebody out, they lost him for 2 hours. They lost their driver. They didn't know where the guy was with like 8,000 euros because they had sent him out to buy 20 graphics cards. Poof, gone. They found him. We're okay. He got the graphics cards, and Counter-Strike kind of got started. But again, this resort was serving them disgusting greasy hot sausages and watered-down eggs for 2 meals a day out of the 3.
Ugh.
And there was nowhere to go because it was a little resort in a little resort town where everything is set up around, yes, you do everything at the resort, and then you come to us for, your tours or whatever. That's it. So there's nowhere to go for food outside of sending a manager an hour away to the next town.
All right. So
half of Titan is sick Wednesday.
Okay, all right. I was going to ask you right there. So Titan's one of them. What other teams were at this tournament?
All right. Hang on. I got to.
I don't like. I just want you can provide me a full list, but like I just want to know some of the big names. I want to see like the scope of the tournament here.
Okay.
Because you do have there's like this small billionaire playboy kind of feel to it, but then it just completely went to shit. Like you know what I mean? Like,
so, anyways, while we're talking about this, while I get the page to load, the Dota tournament is announced as canceled less than a day before it's supposed to start. Yeah. By the way, their website is down.
Right then. Anyway.
So anyways,
that basically shows you what's going on right there.
So these guys, the Dota teams that are on their way, which includes Secret, NiP, Virtus Pro for both Dota and Counter-Strike.
Okay.
Monkey, we're talking, not every single one is a big name, but most of them are big names in terms of, what team, and it's a $50,000 tournament that's going on.
I like Virtus Pro's teams in most games, honestly, so.
So, it's horrible in pretty much every single way. If you had tried to claim something like vegetarianism or veganism, you probably would have been given a glass of water and said, sorry. But, I mean, it was bad. But anyway, so here's the piece de resistance of this whole shit, which is
all right.
the Dota teams show up at the Slovenian border. You know, their airplane lands, they're at the customs, they show up at customs and say, hey, we're here for this, you know, blah, 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 here's our paperwork, let's go. They get arrested, and their passports are taken away because the hotel has gotten rid of their rooms because the event's not happening anymore. So the resort's like, okay, event's canceled this, so all these go away. So these players get arrested. Now, less than 2 hours later, it's sorted and it's handled, and then about 2 hours after that, all the Counter-Strike players have gotten Gaming Paradise to sign something saying that they are guaranteed their money, even if the tournament doesn't finish. But that's an example of why you don't sign up for a tournament in a second world or third world country. Sorry, Slovenians, but let's be honest, your country doesn't have the best track record. Put on by a bunch of people that you've never heard of.
Many questions. I'm just sitting here with my mouth open. I'm not necessarily...
Go ahead and ask questions, I'll try to answer.
I'm not necessarily shocked, excuse me, by the way. I have so many questions. I'm just like, wow. Thorin and Richard Lewis they had their show earlier today, Alpha Draft, or By the Numbers by Alpha Draft, and they talked about this very brief, well, actually at length. So I don't want to, I'm really not doing a pitch. I'm basically saying I don't want to go too deep into it. I don't want to rehash their stuff, but
yeah.
Why isn't there some sort of review board, or not necessarily a player union, but like, why isn't there somebody that just goes and checks these things out? Because that, as soon as you're like, two guys want to host a tournament and a castle in this country, like, again, I remember the first thing I said was this billionaire playboy kind of field that went to shit. But again, like, it's still sitting off some bells to begin with. And there's nobody that goes and checks this, nobody to make sure that there's money, make sure that the players are going to get taken care of, aside from their own managers. Like, you need personnel there that are going to look after the players and make sure they're at the event and that they're taken care of at the event. All this stuff, like the whole infrastructure, like it's just very
well. Yeah, no, and as Smuggling Rum just said in chat, it's so expensive to be this registered sports agent. It is too. Yeah, it is. I mean, I didn't know it was $209,000, but I knew it was going to be expensive as hell. But the point is that, like, it's expensive, and these teams were like, hey, these guys came up and said, there's this event that we want you to do, and you're being invited. They're offering you money. You know, the Complexity guys, I'll put the link in chat right now. You know, they posted what happened to them. They were offered money up front to try and get there. You know, here's a video of where you're going to stay, blah, blah, blah. It all looks copacetic. And then 24 hours before my team is scheduled to board flights, computers arrived without graphics cards, reported as a missing car with stolen computers. The internet had issues and a fuse blew, causing the entire venue to lose power. I can't comment on all the errors first way, but ultimate 12-hour delay caused one of the first 4 best-of-3 matches we played. Concern was at an all-time high, blah, blah, blah. We gathered the team managers. And so the teams were, like, getting ready to drop out. Because it was right before the event, because they're like, this is kind of crazy. The event gets canceled really, really close to, like, when it was actually supposed to happen. And in this, it pretty much was like, what is going on? And there were a couple teams that had, as I said, already gone in. Complexity somehow wasn't one of them, which I find odd that, you know, the American team had left last, but whatever. I don't necessarily care about all the details. I'm just going off of what I've heard. And again, this shows why you don't run something on... I mean, Complexity was contacted the 20th of August, which was, you know, less than... or just less than 2.5 weeks from when the event was supposed to start. You don't put something on that fast.
Oh, man.
So, anyways, that's the fiasco of the year, probably. And to be fair, as far as esports track records are concerned, you've got Gamers Paradise, you've got 2 or 3 other ones that I saw Slasher and Red Eye tweeting about. You know, there was that one in India in 2012 where they were playing on 2x4s. It's kind of cool. I mean, I was like, okay, like, you've got the, like, rustic village vibe, but I mean, I saw power outlets, I saw computers. I know there's more to it, and I understand that it's not
good enough,
that
right?
simple. But I mean, I was like, okay, whatever. It's 2012. There wasn't money back then, or there was not much money in esports. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and jump into
now, but
into league. So I'm gonna let you you talk about the putting up. I will again. I only watch league for this stuff, so I'm actually paying attention a little bit now. But you are the League of Legends man.
There's just been we haven't had a show in about 3 weeks, so there's going to be like a kind of a broad sweeping of events that happened, and more or less competitive League of Legends. And I think
we should just really kind of cover the relegations, qualifying for Worlds, and so I mean, really quickly, I'm just going to do the kind of bounce. Qualifying for Worlds, Cloud9 did batshit crazy things and managed to pull their shit out of the fire twice.
God, that was so beautiful.
And the thing is the first time I was like, all right, and then the second time, and there were fans there were fans talking on Twitter that Cloud9 was retweeting, which I thought was the dumbest thing ever. No, guys, it's okay. They're doing this on purpose. They want the reverse sweep. And I remember yelling at my phone because I was on my phone at a friend's house. Yelling at my phone, no, they don't want to do this, you stupid idiots. You never want to have to put yourself in a must-win scenario 3 times in a row. You don't want to do that. Like, you're freaking idiots. But whatever. So, Cloud9 manages to make it
to play with their backs against the wall. I honestly don't know. Like, I'm going to just talk about this briefly. I mean, just going to the very first series where they fought against, oh god,
was it Impulse the first one or the second one?
I don't remember. I know it was Liquid was the last one. God, see, I should know this. Anyway, it was very first.
I was trying to skim it because
and High played a Moo twice. They played a Moo Karma twice. I remember this, and they were down the first 2 games in the best of 5.
You were so mad about that.
And I was sitting there, and I was like this was it. It was the very first series. Like, if they lost the next game, there was no, like, that was the first series of the gauntlet. So I was just sitting there. I was like, what is happening? And it just shows that, like, how brilliant of a player High is, and how he can just control that team and get them through things, and how amazing his shot calling is. And at the same time, like, it just shows that, like, every other team in North America is going through some stuff, like some really bad stuff. Bad. It's just crazy. But
sorry, I am listening, and I'm just working as well.
No, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Like, I see chat is blowing up. Right
well,
now.
I saw people are mad. Oh god, it blew up again. Oh no. Okay, it grabbed then tip. All right, and then Eager does not have a League of Legends team yet.
It was Gravity. It was Gravity because I couldn't remember them because I remember now because I thought Move was gonna be somebody. Everybody was all like, "Oh, Move's good, Jonah. He's gonna be so good. Look at him. Gravity's #1 in the NALCS." And then TSM came back up, and then everything happened at Madison Square Garden.
Oh shit, we haven't talked about Madison.
We did talk about.
Oh no, we talked about Madison. We're good. You're right. Yep. Okay.
We talked about Madison.
Yeah, that's right. Because Rosalina screamed at us in chat again about TSM.
Yeah. Okay, but
No, NA is messed up.
Cloud9, the reverse sweep is henceforth known as the Cloud9 on this show, at least.
I'm tempted to call it the Cloud9.
Cloud9.
That's for Origin.
Origin qualified for Worlds. Speaking of, I'm just going to go through the regions and talk about the teams that qualified for Worlds. NA, CLG, TSM, Cloud9. Boom, boom, boom. Fantastic. EU, Fnatic, H2K, Origin. Fantastic. Probably is representing North America. Korea, SKT, Ku Tigers, KT Rolster. No CJ this year. Tragic.
It happens.
China, LGD, EDG, and Invictus, and LGD and EDG both announced their rosters. I don't know if it was today, but it was
yesterday. It was yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Okay. Flame is a sub, and they're gonna start with Acorn, so that's pretty troll in my opinion.
I think it's hilarious.
But whatever. I'm not a Chinese coach. I don't get paid like 500,000 woolongs or whatever. It's not my thing. You have Oceania, you have AHQ, which was the whole promise situation where the kid, but they're a good team. They're a good team. And then the Yoi Flash Wolves, and then the wild card regions. You have Pain from Brazil and Bangkok Titans. Excuse me, that is my alarm. The Bangkok Titans from Bangkok. And
yeah,
the last thing really for this week for League of Legends is the relegations.
Shit show
Gamers
was
2
a shit show
finally
was a
made
shit
it-
show.
Yes, Gamers 2 finally made it into the LCS, and
Sort of.
Ocelot paid Kikis in scarves to do it. I'm just gonna meme my heart out real quick. And,
I'm just gonna let you go.
He took SK's energy to get back into the LCS. It was just a beautiful cycle. It's just such a beautiful cycle if you really think about it. I love irony. I was gonna say ironic things and it came up as irony, but anyway. And then
Okay, you've got an accent. It's fine. Oh, God.
Gambit beat Mouse Sports. I don't even really know who's on that team.
I don't know. I mean, who was on that team doesn't matter.
I feel like somebody that used to be on Rockhat was on that team, and I don't
On
feel,
Gambit
I
or
don't
Mouse
care-
Sports?
Mouse Sports. I don't care enough to look it
Yeah.
up, but they brought in Pinoy to play for Forgiven because Forgiven got banned for toxicity, and that was like he got banned for toxicity like a month ago, and
Yeah.
he still wasn't able to play for these matches. But
No, that's
whatever,
dumb.
whatever,
Anyways.
right? Whatever. I understand it's a competitive ban, and it's. I really want to do like a show about.
Oh, we can do that. You want to do that next week?
I really want. Probably yes. I want to do a show about like.
I'm writing this down.
Like people's interaction between like this supposed like how you're supposed to be like a saint as a pro player.
Oh yeah.
And like how people handle that in different regions, and like because you have people like I think Weekend's pretty vocal from Smite.
Oh, pfft.
I think Weekend is extremely vocal from Smite, but people love him. And then you have people like Incon, who's just a great guy, and people still love him. And then you have
Omega's a good example. Omega's a great example
Omega,
where
thank you. That
he's atoned
was-
for his sins and people still hate him for things that he did 3 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
So-
That's a perfect example right there. I couldn't think of it. Oh yeah, and then Smuglin's talking about Enemy, and it was Team Coast beat Enemy, Shrimp went ham, and Otter and Body Drop. I wanted to like Otter. I thought Otter was gonna be like this cool like ADC. I thought he was gonna be like a sneaky light for some reason. I don't know why, but it just
Cool
never
and
came
sneaky
to
doesn't
be.
go together for me. I'm sorry, but
You don't like sneaky? You know what?
I don't
Never
think he's
mind.
cool.
I'll
He's
like you anyway.
I don't know. He's an awkward dude.
And then Teammate beat Imagine. Team Imagine. I just didn't think Imagine had their stuff together.
Oh,
Like,
not at all.
I think it was a kind of another like Man Cloud and Friends attempt. And then poor Baby, Baby just had like stage jitters. Like he just played really bad.
Yeah.
And Steelback can carry, but
So
anyway, just
Yeah.
next week, pro players and interacting with the community, like how you're supposed to interact, being a saint, toxicity, that whole bundle of mess.
yeah, I've got it jotted down in our show notes so we can talk about that.
We should
All right,
do that.
we're gonna jump into Smite.
Mhm.
And we're
This
gonna
should be good. I really
We're
like
gonna
talking
work
about
backward here on Smite. So we're gonna do what happened today, and we're gonna literally just go backward through the last couple weeks.
Okay.
Mostly through, I mean, and to be fair, once we hit like this week in terms of SPL, it's all going to be lumped into one because it's going to be, COG getting better up into week 4, stuff like that. So anyways, so this morning, actually last night, I'm gonna back up just a little bit more into last night with F. Dot and Kret on Really on their show that they do over on F. Dot's channel. I've seen it from time to time. I cast with both those guys when I first started.
Every week, man. I used
Yeah.
to watch that every week. I just forgot about it.
Yeah,
'cause
and again-
I've been moving, so
Yeah. For me, those guys are like according to your numbers, you guys are getting better. So, in my opinion, you guys. Anyways, we'll talk about that in a second. I also want to believe.
Go on.
I want to believe. But anyways, so last night,
I
F.
like
Dot and Kret are wicked pissed about the fact that on Elevate they were supposed to have Scary D come in and do the interview, the post-game interview with Scary D. Except
Okay.
the guy doesn't sound like Scary D. It sounds like Wubbin. And everybody goes, wait, no, that's Wubbin. And Wubbin tweets laughing about something. He didn't really get... But it's confirmed that it was Wubbin, not Scary D tweeting. And they go off on this about professionalism and how you're getting paid $20,000 for last place. You should be taking this more seriously, etc. I mean, they go off on everything. And so this morning, an email gets leaked, and it's one of those things where a dude posted on Reddit on a throwaway account, and Hi-Rez is like, yeah, here you go. Here's the full email, because the guy cut off the last 2 sentences, which didn't change anything, but whatever. And the short version is that Hi-Rez bumped up their fines from $25 to $500. And part of that is, again, your team's making $20,000 this split minimum, not including what your organization is paying you, and not including, what place you get above that 8th slot. So you can kind of afford to do this. And again, it comes down to Hi-Rez being, sort of sick and tired of players not taking their rules seriously, is what, was what I got out of the tweets and the fighting that I saw on Twitter this morning. Because that was entertaining. We were both having a bit of a laugh about 10 o'clock this morning.
Twitter was fun this morning, but that's beyond the point. Let's go ahead and get to the meeting.
And the fun part there was people were just, they were, a lot of people were taking it the wrong way. And ShadowQ and Kret were agreeing on something. Spiff was agreeing on it. Spiff was being serious. So when Spiff Sinister is being serious and calmer than everybody else, whew, that's a problem.
All
that's
right,
like so. Anyways, the argument is that you guys are that the players are supposed to conduct themselves like professionals. They aren't supposed to flame the SPL. You're allowed to be, again, whatever in terms of your voicing your concerns, but they don't want you to rage. And again, I personally agree with the feeling that there are rules that seem to be enforced differently depending on what team you're on. And being super candid with this is totally killing my shot at applying for any damn job at Hi-Rez, so screw it. We're gonna be blunt here. There are players that have gotten banned for things, and then you see other players who they have done. Weekend is that example where Weekend flaunted his attitude in game and out of game.
Right.
But the in-games were never reported, so he's that example. I personally don't know what these exploits are at Worlds. I would believe it.
I have no problem believing it either. Okay.
But I don't know. And so, but again, if they are going to enforce everything equally, I have no problem with it. And so this specific change on its own, I like, in terms of, okay, we're putting up or shutting up, in terms of the players have to start following the rules, or we're actually going to start taking chunks out of your prizes, not $25 here, $25 there.
Right.
So there's that. That's my little bit. I'm off my soapbox for a moment.
Let me address this point by point. Let's start at the beginning with let's start it. Okay, I remember now. Sorry, it was quite a bit. I always have problems keeping up with stuff like that sometimes, at least at the beginning, but it always comes back to me. So let's go to the original point with the Scary D interview. They call Scary D. They have Scary D's. It's not a lower third, but it's we'll call it the left second or something. But they have his little thing up,
the bottom left,
everything. Yeah. And Scary or Wubbin, it's Wubbin, right? I can't remember.
It was Wubbin's voice that was what everybody ended up deciding it being. But he says, "Hey guys, it's Scary D." He says that he's scary and conducts the interview as though he is scary.
Okay, so that happens. He has a little bit of a giggle about it, mate, on Twitter, whatever. Emilito the week before had some sort of interview. I didn't catch what happened, but I saw everybody was laughing about it on Twitter. So
that was
also had a moment.
That was the I don't remember if that was the game or if it was the Epsilon guy that said it. Somebody said, one of the European players said, "Shoutouts to Raffer for being a fucking ginger." There were three people that week that said in their interviews the F-bomb. They dropped the F-bomb 3 different times. Okay. And that was part of why Hi-Rez was like, "All right, fuck this, we're upping it."
See that's fine. That from that point, I understand completely. The Wubbin Scary D interview. I don't think it's right. I don't agree with them trolling Hi-Rez like that. But I think that's just like, I think if it's just one time, like it's just all right, guys, come on. I think it's kind of.
But I think again, there were 4 instances in this 1 week that led to Hi-Rez being like, "All right, y'all, get your shit together."
At the end of that, I completely understand, because you have 3 of you players, you guys are like, "Come on, we're trying to run a serious show," and they're just like, "Shoutouts to Rafa for being a fucking ginge," and like you're just like, "Come on, man, like please," and then it's like, "Hey, this is Scary D." Like I would understand them being upset, but from the outside looking in, the last part is a bit eye-rolly.
I get that,
but I mean, whatever. The whole leaked email and the $500 fine coming for publicly criticizing Hi-Rez and all this stuff.
Again,
I think in terms. Let me actually pull this up on Reddit because I want to address it point by point because I don't want to. I hate talking out my ass. I do it a lot, but that's because I like to. I have a lot of ideas floating
while
around.
You're pulling it up, I'm probably had a lot of the same things that you thought, but Kret put out a video, or he did this talk show this morning about it, and Kret pulled up the original rules that they agreed to when they signed them. And the rules say that you can actually get disqualified for the same thing that you can get fined for here.
Really?
The talking badly about Hi-Rez. And again, it's the... Yeah, and as Smuggling Rum just said in chat, in the same respects, no esport besides Dota goes over exactly what they describe as professionalism, and that's exactly it. There's no definitive answer on what you should or shouldn't do as a pro to be professional on Twitter, and then there's the guidelines that ShadowQ put out saying, hey, this is what I think about it, and this is what Kret thinks about it. And again, there's no official statement from Hi-Rez, but then again, I think that when you've got casters I'm not going to go there. But again, it's the question of what is Twitter in terms of what you're saying, and saying things like, fuck matchmaking isn't good, but saying I'm really frustrated. It's the little things that are going to line up. I also don't think anybody's going to actually get fined for saying shit on Twitter, because nobody's that dumb.
Alright, so I think people are able to, a lot of the more eloquent pro players were saying, like you were just mentioning, that you're still able to perfectly criticize or give, not necessarily admonishment, but hey, you guys could be doing this better to Hi-Rez, and you could just do it more eloquently. That's basically what they're asking you to do, and you can do it without dropping F-bombs. I don't necessarily agree with them trying to control players, even though the players are the employees. It's a very fine line, because when you start playing your players, they're your employees, and while that doesn't necessarily mean like you can throw like a yoke around them, there is a mutual understanding where it's like, I'm helping you out, help me out by like being respectable and stuff like that. I'm not against like, I get wary when Hi-Rez says things about like, we don't want you to do this, because like they have a track record of
you're scared about how much they're gonna flex.
They have a track record of either going back or like saying one thing and then flexing it hard. It's like their elasticity with words is crazy.
Oh yeah, no, and
so that's my biggest thing about it. It's not necessarily I disagree with the point they're trying to make. It's just what they can do with it. That's what I'm curious about. Yeah, they're independent contractors is what Smuggling is saying.
And that is true. They are, and they're getting paid prize money, which is why it takes longer, because they're not getting paid a salary. I mean, again, I don't know. I'm not supposed to know, because that's all, not classified. It's all whatever. But that's the way that shit kind of works, is that they're still kind of pushing it. And Bal saying, the older StarCraft player, he said some things about a map maker and this other player. That's not stuff that I'm necessarily okay with. If the player wants to say that on his platform, okay, fine. If you're saying it on air, I'm gonna boot your ass off air, no time flat. For example, here's a good tangent. Monday, there was or was it Sunday? It was Sunday. It was Sunday because it was because Monday was the show match. There was an Xbox tournament, and this dude named Brazzers. First of all, who the hell picks up a guy named Brazzers? But whatever. This guy does a cast, and every casting rule in the book he breaks. He breaks basic decency. I mean, everything. He's talking about rape. He's talking about people dying, and like people should go kill themselves. All of that stuff. Whew, big deal. And it gets handled by Mortality saying, "Get the hell out. We're never letting you cast with us again." They get it taken care of. Now, should the other guy that he was casting with have turned off the stream, kicked him out, and solo cast it? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, you don't necessarily know what to do, especially if it's your first time casting with somebody else. Again, it's that issue. But whatever, it got handled, and that's the sort of that on-air thing. This is why the NFL, NBA, and MLB have CBAs. Yeah, and again, I think that's where esports is going. Smuggling Rum, in terms of having to get player enforcement acts together and getting all of this legal shit together, but at the same time nobody wants to do it because it's going to lock down things on both ends. Players don't want it because it locks them in certain ways, and organizations don't want it because it locks them in certain ways, and each side is thinking, this is good for me that I don't have it, because that way I can pull it on my end a little bit and fudge it, which then leads to over compensation on each end, and you get these conversations that we're having right now about what's acceptable from the organization standpoint, what's acceptable from the league standpoint, what's acceptable from the player standpoint. And that's really what it comes down to in my eyes is that, we do have to get this stuff together eventually. Otherwise, we aren't going to be able to grow as a esports community at large. So I soapboxed again. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're always. I love your soapboxes. Target. That's never a problem with me. It's just I'm always thinking like, we'll see how it pans out. The thing I'm curious to see when that first instance where 2 weeks from now people forget about what happened. Nobody's ever gonna really forget, but people are just like, oh, all right, whatever. Like 2 weeks of SPO go by and people kind of forget Hi-Rez said that, sort of, but not really, and then a match happens and then somebody's like, are you fucking serious, Hi-Rez, blah blah, or something. Somebody just kind of forgets, gets mad in the moment. Then I want to see how they handle the first instance.
Yeah, both either on
and
Twitter or
see how it goes
on
from there.
I want to see the idiot that forgets and their team forgets to tell them to take off their skin, and that's a $500 skin fine. Because that's the dumbest thing you can get fined for, but it's the rule. Like, look, don't use skins.
Okay, what is the rule with the skin again?
Okay.
Because I know, is it because they're still trying to show off the game?
Okay, so originally the rule was, way back, it was no gold. As I saw it, because I remember pouring through the rules at this point, it was no gold, legendary, or diamond skins because they would mess up the spectator client and it would cause games to crash, and then they couldn't put out the product. Then at Summer LAN, there were reporters at the event who were kind of new to Smite. There was like, hey, we're pitching Smite to people, and they were like, we don't understand what's going on because we don't recognize the characters. You don't get that, AMC is the bee god when he looks like a giant frickin' octopus. Right. That kind of thing. And so that's where they put the rule in of no skins, period. We're trying to show off the game that way. And that's what that is.
So what about the most recent rule?
Certain skins, they still did break the game. Okay, I wasn't sure if they still did. I know that I haven't had any issues getting into Spectator since then, and China couldn't determine what god is what. That also, again, makes sense. So the point is that they're trying to show off the gods, and the rule is to the players, look, don't use it while we're in-game. If there's an argument for, let us use the TSM skin, if we're TSM for Sun Wukong, I think that they've said that they will work with you if you make the argument before game. But, again, there are people like Kret, and I think Barra said something about it, where it's like, we talk about it, where, they say in the lobby, hey, make sure that you don't have your skins on. Like, it's that simple.
Right.
And there are banned skins in League, okay.
There are some banned skins in League. Like,
I don't have any of the fancy on her skins. I guess that's it too. Is I'm a cheap motherfucker who also never plays the game anymore because I'm too busy casting it to know.
I didn't know about the particle effects for on her. I didn't realize that.
Okay, I see banned skins being banned. Okay, again, I don't know these things. That's the thing about League is I hate the fact that in League of Legends, when they go in, first of all, there's nothing that says what the hell the damn characters are. But second of all, it took me like 4 or 5 times to figure out who the hell Rumble was. Because the logo is this little dude that's a, whatever. Okay, that's fine. And then he's actually this giant flaming robot. How the hell am I supposed to know what that is? I'm a noob. I don't play League of Legends.
You have to catch them when they're doing the picks and bans, because right at the end of the picks and bans, they show all the players 5x5 on top of each other.
Yeah,
and
with the
names.
But that's the one time it's there, and that pisses me off. But anyways, so that's why I'm okay with the rule. But at the end of the day, again, yeah, sure, it's a dumb $500 rule, but it's still the $500 rule. So.
Okay, all right, the skin thing I get. I thought the skin thing was like, we're still trying to show off the game.
Yeah,
but
the fact that there's stuff that's breaking it, that makes even more sense too.
I completely understand that. I tried to find the post on Reddit. I think it got taken down or something.
It probably did. Anyways,
oh well. Okay, so there's more for Smite. We're not done with Smite.
Oh hell no.
What else is there? What else is there in
All right.
Smite?
This last week there were a shitload of forfeits, and unfortunately, I don't have a list for all of them. I know that Cloud9 had to forfeit both of theirs games. Players were getting DDoSed, is the short version. Or some of them were getting DDoSed, some of them were just having internet issues. We don't know. There were a lot of really dumb things suggested by people, like Hi-Rez just needs to move everybody to major cities, put them up in an apartment, and pay for their internet. Some idiot thought that was a good idea. And that would fix it.
Oh, jeez.
I understand. I understand the point that people think that Hi-Rez needs to do it all on LAN. I understand why they want to do it in terms of it's like you see LCS and you see they never have problems because they can keep it all in a controlled environment. But Smite's not big enough yet. Hi-Rez cannot afford. Okay, maybe they could afford if they took some major pay cuts in places and whatever else. I don't know, but Hi-Rez cannot afford, in big ass quotation marks, to force all of their pro players to move to Atlanta and play there. Apparently COG DDoSed everyone this weekend. We got... Damn! I mean, if you guys did DDoS, that's impressive, because that's a lot of people that got DDoSed.
True.
But,
True. I can see that.
But at the same time, it's like... what we're seeing is some people are having issues, and a lot of it's Comcast. And it sucks. Because that's what Comcast does. And I'm so glad that I don't have to deal with them right now. But we'll look at it really quickly. AFK is still 10-0. TSM is 8-4. Oh, TSM freaking lanes. Okay, so we're gonna jump to TSM and then we'll jump back to that really quickly. Team solo mid. Boosh quit. Not a surprise. Everybody's been waiting. Yeah. Okay. Really quickly, chat. Yes. Smug and Rum. David Fry, owner of Cognitive Gaming. Smug and Rum chat. Okay. Over that. Moving on.
So anyway, the TSM role swap where Boosh basically was like,
I'm free. I'm gone, and that's really what it's been.
Oh man, we keep seeing this happen to our Smite players. Where they keep getting burnt out on the game. You can kind of see it with Divios. Divios' play. He seems like he's burnt out on the game, and. I don't know. I can't say. I honestly, from the outside looking in, just kind of not being as deep as into the Smite scene as I used to be. It was a surprise, kind of, but from the inside of the community and from all the when it was announced, everybody was like, "Oh, we saw this coming." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Okay." What I did not see coming was Snoopy wanting to play mid. He's like, I know I'm one of the best ADCs of all time anyway, and I know I like playing stuff like Vulcan and ADC, but I didn't really like playing ADC.
That's the reason why he actually.
It makes sense now. Just kidding. But what are their standings at? Let's keep going.
Anyways, AFK is 10-0. Number two is TSM.
That lane swap though.
That lane swap is only this week. That lane swap is only this week.
Okay. All right.
So
wait. So they played 2 games with it, right?
Actually, no.
Have they played any games with it?
I don't remember. I don't remember what the forfeits were this week. Because there's not really anywhere that says if it was a forfeit or not. Oh no, they lost both their games this week. Awkward.
Anyway,
I did not watch the SPL this week. There was too much drama going on around the scene. There was too much, DDoS Arena or whatever going on this week. And at the end of the day, I couldn't be bothered to tune in. I'm gonna be blunt about it. There was shit going on.
Wasn't the last week of SPL the 3rd through the 6th?
Say again?
Wasn't the last week of the SPL the 3rd through the 6th?
Yes.
Okay, then they won. They won both games.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a green for win. Yeah, they beat Enemy both games. I read that wrong.
They beat Enemy, but they lost to AFK. So.
Yeah. Okay, so COG. Okay, so I'm gonna bounce to COG really quickly. Enemy is sitting at 3rd. At 7-5, they had a really, really easy beginning.
I don't know how that happened, dude.
They had a really easy first set.
Thing.
Okay. Team Eager 5-5. 2 of those wins were literally gifts where Cloud9 said we can't even get our 5th player into the lobby. Sorry. And then Cognitive Gaming is sitting at 5-7. Again, I'm seeing here the Cognitive beat Eager. I don't know if that has to do with DDoSes or what. Or whatever the hell happened with the 4...
DDoSerinos.
Was that the game that Omega couldn't get in? I don't know. I also, again, it's the question of I didn't necessarily care to pay attention to what was going on.
Apparently, it was a really bad week. Like
Yeah.
I know you just said that, but like, my God, I didn't
But
realize it was this rampant.
yeah, and anyways, but I mean, again, with this roster from the Cognitive Gaming team, I'm expecting to see them get better. And so I'm expecting to see Cognitive Gaming sit in this middle area, while Enemy I expect to fall down just a little bit. Denial 5 and 7 as well. Cloud9 3 and 7, and then Elevate 1 and 9. They won a game because of a forfeit. So Cloud9 didn't have a sub because they didn't get a sub in after Mr. Mackey quit. That's sucks for them, to be perfectly honest. And also, it was Andinster in the games against Eager. It was their shot caller that couldn't connect. What are you gonna do there?
Right. Telling you, dude, these Cloud9 shot callers, man, they are the brains and the heart of the team. If you just cut them out, it's donezo.
But so that's the brief rundown of NA. And again, a lot of freaking, and it's funny because it's almost all of it's North America. You normally think of problems with you think problems with Europe for connections, and this week Europe was relatively stable. That said, Epsilon Esports still 12-0 because they're pretty much saying, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna step. Oh my God, David Fry spent a lot of money on League of Legends. Damn. Anyways, I get that League of Legends is expensive as hell. Paradigm second 9 and 3, Titan 7 and 3, Fnatic 5-5, London Conspiracy 5-5, Justice 2-8, Dig 2-10, Myrmidons 2-10. You know, EU's a little bit less. It's a little bit less close in terms of you've got this one team that's way out ahead, though you do have the same thing with AFK, but you don't have 4 teams all in contention for top 3. You've got, you know, they're more in contention for top 4. But it's still a very solid roster or stuff overall. Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
All right, so let's do this mid-season now. I want to do this mid-season.
Okay.
Let's see. I just looked at it. We have this is week 4. Week 4 just happened. We're on week 5.
Week 4 just happened. We're going into week 5.
We're going into week 5. It goes all the way to week 10. And then you have Worlds in January. And how many slots for NA and EU and EU, excuse me?
Oh God!
Are there?
Hang on, I gotta find that.
Let's just do a mid-season prediction right now. I want to know.
All right, I'm pretty sure it's 2 teams from each region that get to go.
All right, so I'm gonna do mine first.
All right, go ahead.
So mine for NA, AFK, of course. That's just easy. Oh man.
I'm going to agree with you right now while you're thinking of your second one. I think that unless AFK self-destructs, and I've heard rumors that they might, I doubt it, but I've heard the rumors. 2 from NA, 2 from EU, 1 Wild, 1 China, 1 OCE.
Ooh. That's going to be avant-garde from Oceania, like hands down.
No, OCE's got their own. OCE's got their own slot. So it's okay, it's going to be interesting to see how that wild card position goes.
They're just stomping kids out there. It's going to be avant-garde. I think it's going to be AFK and damn, dude. I don't want to say like TSM because I don't know how that roster swap's going to work out for them.
That's just
they're the most stable team. I just don't know about Jigs as support. I feel like that was just like this mastermind move to ultimately get him on the TSM so he could play in SPL again. I don't think he's bad or anything. Like I don't think Jigs is a bad support at all. I think he's good. I just don't know about him as support, and I don't know about Ionic as ADC. I just feel like this lineup is strong right now, but they're not going to, like, I feel like as long as Cloud9 can get their stuff together, like, they might do some crazy, there's no gauntlet in the SPL, but I feel like they can climb back through the standings potentially. I think there's still enough time.
Definitely. And then, of course, there's the land to actually get there, so.
Yeah, I forgot about the land, too. I completely forgot about the land, actually.
So, anyways, I'm going to agree with you on AFK. You look at Europe while I do my thing. AFK, and then I have no freaking clue. Baskin isn't good enough. Andy won't fix problems. Cloud9's got issues. Cloud9 has problems. I mean, they've had problems. That's been obvious. Landister, as in a disaster, but yeah.
Land disaster. Brutal.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. I'm thinking, I don't think there's any way in hell that Enemy's going to make it. I'm going to be blunt. I don't care what Pern says. I don't know. Enemy, they might even make it to the land, but I see no way in hell that Enemy's going to Worlds.
That
Except for maybe
roster's
rocking,
just so
unless Rose is wearing her enemy jersey going, yay, enemy! Unless that's happening, I don't think that they are going to make
That
it.
roster is just so troll, man.
Anyways, Europe, go.
Okay, so right then, Europe. Where did my okay? There we go. Europe, Epsilon, of course. Epsilon, just they're going to Worlds, man. They're 12-0 right now.
They
12,
might
12
drop a
oh
game or
right
two
now.
to like Fnatic,
They're gonna
maybe.
drop. They're gonna drop a game. I don't think they're. I don't think they're gonna pull like a Fnatic for League of Legends and just.
That's
go
true. I guess
18-0.
Enemy could make it on the wild card. I didn't think
But
about that.
I definitely think Epsilon is probably like as long as like I'm just gonna be honest. The EU boys are temperamental. Like
Oh, yeah.
like NA gets temperamental, but like EU, they just like it's just in their blood to like just get mad at each other and just to like rip a team apart over nothing. So as long as like they are able to maintain their calm, I think Epsilon will be fine. And between Paradigm and Titan, I don't know. I think when the ADC meta ended, they should have switched Ataraxia back to AD carry and put Confrey back in solo. So I don't know. See, at the same time, I don't know because I feel like Paradigm is a team full of good players that sometimes know how to work with each other. That's how I feel looking at them.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm agreeing here in terms of Epsi and then Titan. I think. Yeah, PD. Yeah, no, Paradigm does not win lands.
Yeah,
I think
Paradigm does. See, that's a true point. Paradigm does bad at lands, whereas Titan does fine. So that's the thing. It's just Titan has to get to land, and then they'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's the blunt way to say it. You know, Paradigm sucks at lands. All the players that are on the team are players that have sucked at land in the past, and that's totally true. And you know, I get that. You know, Cog's having a hard time. I want to believe, man. I'm just gonna put that out there, David. I want to root for your team. I want to root for. Yeah, you're good now. You're not frozen now. You're a little pixelated, but it should be good in a second.
Sorry about that.
Like I said, I don't know. I don't think Cog's certainly not in bad of places they used to be. I'll say that much. But yeah, they're certainly not top 2 material right now. Again, it's like was said, maybe Enemy makes that third slot. There's a lot of questions about what the hell happens with some of these roster shakeups. Then I watch her. Well, hey, I know a guy. Wrong direction on the camera. Hang on. I know a guy who used to coach who'd be willing to talk to them. Oh, anyways, moving on. I'm done selling heads right now.
Let's just finish the show.
All right. But no, I think that's actually about it for Smite right now in terms of that's the midweek or the mid.
Let's get off of SPL and let's just go back to this general Smite community. Because this is still esports related.
All right.
Let's talk about So You Think You Can Cast. I just want to do this, and then I think we have Dota 2. And
Dota 2 really quickly, yeah.
Hearthstone / other games, and then I think we're about done. So
yeah,
we're kind of winding down here. But So You Think You Can Cast, I believe they had their first runs today. I don't know if that's still going on or not.
It ended before I could get home from class because I wanted to watch it, but...
Oh, man. Oh, geez, man. Oh, man. Oh, geez. It was quite the spectacle there. First of all, I really disagree with Hi-Res like trying to turn this in, like the caster competition. It's just weird. Like it's very. I don't even think cheesy is the right word for it. I think it kind of goes beyond that to a degree. But anyway, whatever.
Oh, chat got mad about the
guy on there. They got the first guy on there, and they just F6'd him right away. They have this giant buzzer button, and Rosalina was tweeting me about this. Like she was furious. And they F6'd that guy right away, and then they had on Sushinur. A girl from Sweden, I think. She's European at least. I'm sorry if I got her region wrong. And her mic quality wasn't that good, but and she was a little bit nervous, but she knew what she was talking about, and she just needed work. Like she wasn't that bad. She just needed work. And then I don't think I caught anybody else, but the whole thing is weird, man. Like, just the whole thing, the whole process they're doing to try and find another caster. Like, I don't understand why these, companies try to do this. Or, I mean, why Hi-Res, I'm not trying to speak generally, excuse me. I'll stop myself right there. But why Hi-Res is going about it in this way. It's very odd, and it's very
It's them trying to generate a little bit more excitement about all this stuff. And,
See, you say that, and then you put X-Fats in the final 12, and it's just like, how is this not rigged?
They put
like,
people in terms of, we're gonna try and make it entertaining, is what I can tell. So, I don't know. Again, I haven't seen this shit, so I wasn't able to watch it. I'm gonna watch it later. We can talk about it later, you know, with week 1 and week 2 or whatever, maybe. But it definitely went from last time they did it, where they got F. and Adonis of, we're putting out an open casting call, we'll look at you behind the scenes, and we'll make and we'll pick up some people. Very quiet, very whatever, move on. That's fine. I am okay with open casting calls. Turning it into a shit show like this, no. And because they're doing it the way that they're doing it, there were certain people who couldn't get picked up because they have other commitments with Hi-Rez. Yes, that's all I can say.
I'm like, do you just want to talk about yourself, or
no? I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about people that applied
okay.
who didn't get picked because of stuff that they're working on that I know about that I don't know about.
Okay, yeah. All right, I understand what you mean. That actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, so like this actually goes back to my point where like you have people that have been casting in the community that are like actually like dedicated people that in this role and want to provide this craft to the community, and they get skipped over for like this honestly popularity contest. Like, I mean, you go through some of the applications and they're just god awful. Like, I'm
pretty sure that the point of this cast is to pick people out that are unknowns. You're picking out the people who are not supposed to know.
X-Fats in there. They
shouldn't
put X-Fats in there.
Fats has cast a total of like 8
X-Fats. I have nothing against X-Fats. I'm just going to say that right now. I have nothing against that. Follow him on Twitter. I think he's pretty funny. I like him. I don't watch his stream, though. Sometimes I check in, but I don't watch his stream. But, like, I just, like, he's been casting on and off various things for Hi-Rez. He's already a well-known personality in the Hi-Rez and in the Smite community and across Twitch. So, like if they were going, like, if he wants to cast for Hi-Rez, like, there should be a better avenue to get him along, and it should be for people that aren't well known, like they are trying to say, in my opinion.
Again, that's the implication. And again, I think it's that, oh, okay, you're not a caster, let's make you a caster, whatever. I think it's a dumb way to do it, again. Whatever.
Dude, Fats was casting back when I was casting 3v3 tourneys with Bloody Tech, and that's what ran Bloody Tech away, because Smite Central was doing the 3v3 tourneys and they got more viewers. And that was before the launch tournament last year.
Like, you froze up again.
That was a long time ago. Sorry, I was thinking.
That's all good.
Anyway, my point in saying all that is like it's really irritating that like Smite. I still stand by like Smite is a good game. I don't necessarily like. I'm trying to get back into it slowly. Like, my biggest gripe with Smite is the support variety as compared to other games, but, like, whatever. But, you know, like, Smite is a good game. Smite was my first MOBA. Smite's my favorite MOBA. But, like, Hi-Rez's company, like, I don't know. I really wish they were trying to actively, like, foster a real talent and, like, potentially like add someone that can like go on to do things down the road in esports instead of like this bullshit popularity contest, man.
Oh, everything's just, I mean, it's kind of bad.
I just feel like I'm being trolled right now.
Oh, it's bad. I mean, it's like when they put out backing Smite Central. I work with Smite Central for casting and production. Is looking for more production people. Production's not that difficult for Smite. Especially when you're doing a 3v3 tournament. You kick it on assisted and you bounce around, you occasionally hit R, you hit F1, F4, F3. That's it. I can teach you how to do it in 20 minutes. It's not that difficult. There is nobody interested in running production anywhere. Anyways, it is. I hate saying Smite's a dying ship because it's not, but at the same time, if they don't do something about it, they're going to push themselves underwater. So, jump into Dota really quickly.
I agree with that.
Most of what we're going to cover here is in this twitlonger that was put up by Nahaz.
You take me away because I don't know.
So, anyways, this is also going to be a little bit off what he put here, and also I just put the link in chat so if you guys want to start reading. But we're going to cover Dota. Dota. After TI, you hit the Wild West portion of the show, which is everybody goes, fuck this, I'm out, and they roster shuffle like crazy. This year wasn't actually that bad. It was pretty drastic compared to other games, but oh my god, it's nothing compared to last. Like, there have been previous seasons where every single team that went to the international dissolved. Not just like changed rosters, but the team actually dissolved for 3 months.
Well,
it was beautiful. That was, I think, TI 2. But anyways, and if you look at it, you know, the big names are still there. You know, Alliance, NIP, Cloud9. Cloud9 now all American. We'll talk about Aoi really quickly. So EG right after TI. Yeah, Dota reshuffles twice a year. It's going to reshuffle a little bit differently now that the majors have roster locks and they're so soon after the international. That it's going to be a little bit crazier. But anyways, EG got an offer from Arteezy. Arteezy said, hey, I want to play with you guys. Arteezy has played with 3 out of the 5 players. He's played with everybody but Sumail and Aoi before. And he said, I will not play with you guys without fear. I will not play without fear. End of story. You're not kicking PPD because he's the coach. You're not kicking Universe because he's the second or third best player on that team. Sumail arguably tied with him. And then there were conflicts with Aoi. They said it in some emotional posts. Aoi said it himself. Aoi did a thing with Thorin, and Aoi said, look, if this was any other time of the year, it would have been an 8 out of 10 on the kick scale. A 10 out of 10 being it was a mutual, hey, this isn't working, you know, shake hands, goodbye, maybe a hug, that's whatever. 8 being a, God, this sucks, but all right, you guys handled this pretty well. But then on the other hand, it was right after frickin' TI, and so it feels like you're getting kicked in the nuts. But Aoi leaves. They bring in Arteezy, one of the stars of Secret, and I don't know how that's gonna go. I haven't looked at it much since then. Digital Chaos.
When is the next?
Yes, the majors in like October or November. It's not that far away.
Okay.
And
right.
so
that's an international tournament, right?
That is that. Okay, there is ESL New York, which is an ESL 1 New York is an ESL event, and that's gonna be the next.
Oh my god, there's a lot of stuff coming out because there's like ESL Dubai, ESL New York. Like ESL gets around, man. Like
yeah,
Lord.
Major is the beginning of November. ESL New York is the beginning of October, and ESL 1 New York is the first major international LAN that is going to be Secret, Virtus Pro, CDEC, Evil Geniuses, Fnatic, Vega Squadron. Excuse me, and 2 more teams that are playing right now. Not like this very minute, but they're playing to get in those last 2 slots.
Is one of those Digital Chaos?
Maybe. I think Digital Chaos is playing in NA right now. I'm not 100% certain. Okay. Again, I'm not as plugged into Dota as I want to be. I am working on it. But is the next major actually going to be DAC? Okay. But anyways, roster is everything's getting juggled. A lot of the teams look very good. If you're interested, I really would recommend clicking the link. I'll post it in chat one more time, and I will also put it down below. Nahaz puts it just much more eloquently than I do. All of these teams. Again, there's a lot of stability being added in certain cases, and in other cases, rosters are starting to fall apart. And it's looking like North American Dota is starting to have a bit of a resurgence. Tiny bit, not a whole lot. European Dota stumbling a little bit, and then Chinese Dota is doing okay. Southeast Asia is doing pretty solid as well, and then Korean Dota is showing up. And that's the big story, is I'm waiting to see Korean Dota at the next major, because I don't think they were invited to ESL 1. They might be playing through the C1 right now, but again, I don't know exactly how that's going. MVP looks solid. MVP, kind of juggled their rosters. They meshed it together. And, I'm going to read this as a quote. What you saw from this team at TI5 was no fluke. QO has been one of the most explosive players on this pro scene for the last year and a half or so, and is fully capable of carrying this team even against strong opposition. I'm really thrilled we got to see March play at least one more time. His individual play on Spirit Breaker was as solid as we've ever seen from any player on the hero. I lost count of the times I said, he's got to be dead here. Nope. MP is a really good fit for them. The player that's replacing March. March has to go in and play. Not play. He has to go join the army now. He's put it off as long as he can. It's mandatory service in Korea. He's a really steady player. And then in parentheses, by Southeast Asia standards anyway, because again, Southeast Asia, very volatile region, and is comfortable either in the safe lane farming role or mid. This is very good. Being able to have players that kind of fit in multiple roles is really, really good for this figuring out what works best on the meta. A lot of opposing teams will focus on shutting down QO, and then being able to shift these lanes around mid is a really good way to relieve some of the pressure. Febby and Heen are a lot more stable than most of the SEA support combos. So again, Yes. NA Dota is EG. I agree. I think that Cloud9 has a chance, though. Cloud9 went 100%. I think
I do remember Cloud9.
4 out of 9 of them are from US. One of them is Canadian. So it's going to be an interesting team.
Did you say 4 out of 9?
4 out of 5. I said 4 out of 9 because I saw the 9 on C9. Again, they're inconsistent, but they've got potential. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there. Eternal Envy, who was on Cloud9, now playing for Secret. That's another thing that we're seeing a lot of is several teams. There's Monkey Business, Secret, and I think it's 5 Jungs. All have players on both sides of the Atlantic. So if you're in Europe and like say Eastern United States, you're playing on a team. You're not locked into just NA or EU. You can play in both because the ping is a little bit acceptable. There's no reason why you can't. It's just okay. Brax is the weak link. Yeah, all right. Brax has some issues. I want to believe in everybody. But I guess Brax has not shown in the past. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I'm really just looking forward to the beginning of October. I want to see ESL 1 and Y. And I love you forever.
His picture.
He's playing position 5 though. Damn. Whose picture was posted in a chat?
Brax's picture on his Wikipedia page.
Oh yeah.
It's
I don't
beautiful.
understand why Forever's playing 5.
Or,
yeah, that's right.
Man.
Because Brax moved to NA. Yeah, Braxton. Kid.
Interesting.
So, and I mean, I am trying to get more into Dota again. I will admit that I quit Dota. God, right around the same time I quit TF2. So that would have been about a year and a half ago that I quit. I quit pretty much everything Valve related for about a year. He should be a model for alcohol, not a Dota player, or maybe a model for those suits. But
he should.
But again, and I didn't follow Dota until right before TI again, and I felt really bad doing that. And Dota, I'm falling back in love with it. Part of the reason is because we're back into really the strong season, right before the lull before international again. So we've got ESL 1, we've got majors, we've got a couple. Star Ladder is going to be starting up again in a couple months, or Dream League, Star Ladder and Dream League, and there's like 4 or 5 different things. Beyond the Summit setting up another thing. I would love to go to a LAN out there for that. Hell, I'd love to go to ESL 1, but I can't exactly afford any of those trips. But Dota is in a great place right now in terms of there's a lot of growth. A lot of teams look pretty good. Also, yes, Dota Reborn. We can talk about Dota Reborn.
I was about to ask you about that actually, because I saw.
Oh my God, players are pissed. Oh, they're mad because stuff's broken.
Okay, all right. So, I know what the Reborn is, but I'm
letting chat know, or the viewers know. Dota Reborn is Source 2 engine. Dota being ported over. Dota's going to look a little bit prettier. It's going to clean. It's going to be a little bit smoother, and supposedly some mechanics are going to be a little bit cleaner. Again, it's the same game. There's a couple things behind the scenes that have changed, and occasionally, Dota. Okay. Go ahead and do your thing. I'm reading. The game is broken. Okay. And that's the thing is that right now I've been hearing a lot of people saying that there are things that are just fundamentally broken with Reborn in terms of stuff is not ready yet. And that was
that's always a shame.
Bound to happen, and I'm surprised that it didn't happen. I don't understand how they didn't catch it until now. Like, and no, MB Derpicus, it's more along the lines of broken, like, you can't see the characters. And also 6.4K is, like, not quite Barracuda level in Smite. It's 6.4K. If you're at 6K or above, you are damn near good. Yeah, that's where that is. Go ahead with your...
Go ahead with my what?
I cut you off twice. I'm sorry.
I honestly don't remember.
I'm sorry.
No, dude, trust me, you're fine. Trust me, you're fine, dude. I think honestly, we were talking about Dota Reborn. You covered it. I was gonna ask a question about it, but you answered the question when you were
yeah. Okay, so yes, I'm sorry. Barracuda is like 8.5, 10K, whatever. Super Ultra Lord Saiyan. Okay, 6.5K is master's level. I guess it's a better way to put it. Is if you're like 6K or above. Quite frankly, I think it's a little bit lower than that in some cases. But Barrett is Arteezy trying to get 8K and break Elo. That sounds about right. Arteezy's got like 4 accounts over stupidly high.
So he's like Wild Turtle used to be.
Gotcha. Better than Wild Turtle.
Probably, yeah, I got you.
So
makes sense because it's Dota. Yeah. Dota is the harder game.
So, but yeah, no, but yes, you still, I mean, 6.5K is good. It's very good. It's up there. You know, there are pro players. That's about where you hit. And so that's the other thing we talk about really quickly is in-house leagues. Is that Dota is getting some organization. Some organizations are hosting these in-houses where you have to be above a certain level in their open league, or you have to be a professional player to get invited in into the FPL. Yeah, Smuggler Rum just typed it up. I have heard some shit show stuff about FPL, and yeah, I mean they've been around, but the thing is that they're coming back, which is the concept of an in-house league where it's only they just weren't broadcast. Again, I've never been that good. I am that guy that shuts up when it comes to my Dota skill. Like, I want to get good at the game.
I can't even get through a game of Dota, so that's why I'm chuckling before anybody thinks otherwise. Like, I've tried multiple times. Always have a buddy. I'm like, hey, Celtics, let's play Dota. He's like, all right, man.
Let me get on my Smurf.
Played, you know, last time we played, you didn't make it through the game. I'm like, nah, man, it's fine. It's fine. Come on. I'm just sitting there clicking around. I'm like, where's my tower line at? What just killed me? What do I build? What? Uh-oh. Sorry about that. My dog is nosy. Anyway, long story short, I suck at Dota. The end.
Yeah. So, anyways, FPL, yeah, you have to get invited into the top tier. Smuggling Rum, Dota 1, that sounds about right. High level pro. Someday I'd love to talk to Smuggling about what Dota 1 was like, because I've heard these great things, but I've watched some old VODs, but those are scary, not gonna lie. And no, Dota players are the only thing more expensive than League, I feel like, because high quality Dota players are like just they want the money.
That's because like they win, they fuck, and the international has big bucks. Like, god damn. Like, there's so much money. Like, every year, they're like, the international prize pool is now $18.4 million.
And the thing is you take that number and you multiply it by 3. And that is how much profit Valve has made off of that number. It's crazy. So, I mean, it's dumb. And Dota's expensive.
Pretty ridiculous.
Dota
is expensive. I guess it's worth it, though.
That's very interesting. But again, Dota's crazy. I'm going to be doing my best to try and get a little bit more plugged in so we can talk about it more, because I think it's really, really cool. And I think I'm in a better place now in terms of being able to understand it. I've played, baby's first MOBA now in several different directions. I've played, played Heroes, I've played Smite, I've played League. I hate League. I can't stand, grinding through it.
I think League is a really well done game that is kind of like... There's just like I love like the 4. There's more than 4, but like these are the 4 that have like managed to survive. It's like Dota, Smite, League, and Heroes. Those are the 4 that have managed to hold out. Like, you had poor Strife.
I tried to break the mold on that game. I got bitched at so hard I said, fine, I'm leaving.
And Dawngate got killed. Like, Dawngate...
No, you said it!
Dawngate got, killed, old Yeller, but, imagine Yeller never got rabies. Like, Ma was just one day, it was like, Yeller's gotta go, and you're like, what? Like, that's what Dawngate was like. What else is there? There's other, little MOBAs and stuff like that. I think Bloodline Champions, not really, that doesn't really count. Anyway, but... those 4, they all offer such varying degrees of this, that, or the third. Heroes is the simplest. Dota is the hardest. Smite's third person. League is
the most popular. That's really all
the most popular. I guess I was trying to figure out a best way to say it, but yeah, because I was coming to conflict there because Dota makes more money, at least in some regards. But like, man, like you see League in like Korea and China, and like EDG's building they have. It's just like God. Oh, anyway,
I did not kill. Oh
I
my
think
god.
I think we're. Oh yes, Heroes of New Earth. I completely forgot about them.
Heroes
How
of
could
New
I
Earth.
forget about Heroes of New Earth?
Heroes of New Earth is the Team Fortress 2 of MOBAs. To be perfectly honest. Though TF2 is the Dota of objective-based shooters. I'm so happy that they're coming back. You don't even understand. Anyways, I have there's a soft spot in my heart for shooters.
Mm.
Excited.
Is that all we have for this week?
Yeah. I'm gonna pay attention to Dota a little bit more. We're still gonna be doing Smite stuff. Because that's still where we're from.
I've got League and Heroes on lockdown.
Yeah, and so we're just gonna keep an eye on other stuff. And yes, Valve made Dota 2, so Blizzard made TF3. It's straight
I know,
up.
it's so delicious. I love it.
So, anyways, with that said, we've been going for about an hour and a half here. Actually, probably close to about hour 10. So again, this is about where we seem to peter out every single week. We will be back next week. We're gonna probably do a brief update show. You know, blah, 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 blah. This is what happened. We're going to run through that fairly quickly. And then we're going to do the connection between your professional image and how that impacts, or how you act outside of the game in a professional manner, and then how that, yeah, whatever. You'll word it better.
It's hard to nail it down because it's like it's so many different things, but they're all intertangled in this own little ball. So like, we'll get to it next week.
We'll get to that next week. We're gonna do that, etc. So thank you all for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Hope you all have a wonderful week. We will see you guys next time. Probably again about 7:30, maybe closer to 8 Eastern. I now have class on Wednesdays. That makes it a little bit late, but we will do our best. Anyways, if you are interested on following us on Twitter, above our heads, you can find me at mtargetproduct. You can find him
at Jiminy Reigns.
So thank you all very much. Once again, and we will see you all later.
Have a good night.